fall off of your credit report. So if that old account that was good fell off of your credit report, what's going to happen? And you were getting credit for it, to help your score, what's going to happen? Your score is going to fall. Now, again, like I said, I can't predict if your score is going to fall 5 points or if your score is going to fall 20 points. I can't predict that necessarily. So that good account that you had that fell off that you didn't even notice at all, then it could hurt your credit score. Conversely, if you have a bad account and then that bad account finally goes ahead and falls off your credit report, it could absolutely help your score. So you got that old account, you were late 4 or 5 times, it's been on your credit report forever, it's kind of been pulling your score down a little bit, and it falls off of your credit report, then that's going to help your score go up when that happens. And oftentimes we just don't pay attention to it, especially things that are old and closed. As individuals, we just don't pay attention to those particular accounts because we don't really realize or know how it's impacting our credit score. And frankly, there's not much that we can do about it. Some of those accounts, old accounts, you can try to get them taken off your credit report. The credit bureaus are only supposed to take off your credit report inaccurate or errored information. So if that account was yours, you paid on it 100,000 times over the 10 years ago or whatever, that's your account. They're not necessarily going to just remove it just to help you improve your credit score. So those are some of the things right there, some of those mysteries that we simply don't know why your credit score might go up or down. But some things are actually blatant. You can just look at your credit report and you could tell. Well, maybe you can't if you don't look at it all the time, but I certainly could look at your credit report and say, oh, here's the issue, or here's why your credit score made a dip or made a move. I've had several people contact me because it seemed out of the blue. I mean, this is an extreme example that their credit reports failed, 70 points, failed 100 points in 1 month, and they absolutely didn't do anything at all. Now, those are anomalies. They didn't stay down 70 points. They didn't stay down 100 points. They actually bounced back the next month right back to where they were before. So something was going on in the system. So that could have been a glitch. I don't know. It could have been an error in the system or what have you. Maybe 1 month something didn't update at all, so it threw your credit score all the way off. But if you fall 70 and 100 points and nothing happened, you didn't file bankruptcy, you didn't get a new collection, you didn't miss any payments, anything like that, most likely, it's just a glitch in the system and it'll come back the next month. If it does not come back the next month, that's when you need to start reaching out to try to figure out what's going on with your credit report. So let's go ahead and jump to the question of the day today. So the question of the day is brought to you by Cute as a Cupcake, Cupcakery and Bake Shop, where the cupcakes are more than just cute, they're delicious. Get by Cute as a Cupcake at 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana, and tell them that the 800 credit score man sent you. All right. And I know they got some beautiful cupcakes over there too. It's Mother's Day. They got some beautiful cupcakes and delicious over there at Cute as a Cupcake. So make sure you get by there in Maryville, Indiana. All right. So question of the day. The question comes from John. John is from Minnesota. And so he contacted me actually through Messenger on Facebook with 800 Credit Score Man on my 800 Credit Score Man show page. So please get to the 800 Credit Score Man page and we can talk there as well. So like I was saying, John from Minnesota. So his question was, I have a 630. When should I start looking for a home? And my reply back to him is now. Start right now. Start looking for a home. You can be approved at a 580 at this point, sometimes even lower, and typically at a 640. So you're only 10 points off of that being at 630 right now. So what I would do is, if it's going to take you, well, think of it like this. If it's going to take you, let's say, a month, and that might be short. Well, in my home buying experience, only a month is a short time to find a home. So let's say it takes you a month to find a home. And then you need to negotiate and do all of those things. And it takes you another 30 to 45 days to close after that. So you're 2.5 months out. Maybe it could take you, 3 months out before you go ahead and close on your home. Between then, between now and then, and you're at a 630, you can absolutely improve your credit score. That 10 points, if you need 10 points, you can improve your credit score even more if it's something minor on your credit report that you can make changes to. So I would do this. I would contact my mortgage lender, whoever you're going to use for that. I contact them and I would see what they have to say. And as I said, I don't know where John is getting his credit report or credit score from, but your credit score can be different. And we'll talk about that a little bit on the other side. It can be different than the 630 that you're looking at. So contact your mortgage lender right now if you want to be moving in the next 2.5, 3 months, or even further out. Contact them now because you're not too far off. You're not too far off at all at 630. I always make my goal to be 640 because quite frankly, things can change for the good or bad by the time that you close. So you want to try to get above and as close to 700 as possible. So you do have that quote unquote fluctuation because your credit score could do some changes, could have some changes in there. So that's what I had from John. But then he also asked another question. He said that he has filed some disputes. He filed some disputes on his credit report, and it's been more than 30 days, and he hadn't heard back at all. So my answers back to him, or my suggestion was to check your credit report. I need you to check your credit report. Maybe they just didn't notify you. I mean, typically they're pretty good about that. You know, they'll send you a letter if you sent a letter. If you did it by email, they'll send you an email or what have you, if you did it online. So check your credit report. Maybe they just didn't notify you. If there's no change at all, so whatever you made the dispute on, they haven't moved, there's no difference at all for any of them, then call the credit bureau. Do that. Call the credit bureau. Don't send them another letter, the snail mail. Who knows when they're going to get it and look at it and all of those things. Call the credit bureau. Here's what I have seen in the past when something has happened like this. If you call the credit bureau, they look at your account and they say, oh yeah, you did dispute this, and this was like 6 weeks ago. And what they can do, or what has happened in the past, is while you're on the line, they can actually go ahead and remove it, and basically remove it on the spot for you. So then next time you check your credit report after it's been updated and all of those things, you could see that your credit score has gone up because that dispute is taken off of your credit report, or that issue is taken off of your credit report. So that's what I'm going to suggest to you. If you don't hear back from them, they only have 30 days if you are filing it online. They have 35 days if you're actually sending a letter to them to file your dispute. So if it's past that time, now if you're going to be looking at it and it's the 31st day and you're like, oh, this is hard and fast, it's 30 days, they didn't get back to me, then it's got to fall off my credit report. Typically, yes, that's right, but they also reserve the right to go ahead and review it even further and past the 30 days. They do reserve that right. So it doesn't happen that often, but people do ask all the time, I had this and then it came back on my credit report. That could happen. Now, typically it does not happen if it's been, say 60 days. But if it's like 30 days, 40 days, 43, 44 days, something like that, it's possible that it might pop back on your credit report. And then people get it confused a little bit sometimes when they look at it and now it's a different company. It's not the same thing. That's just another company trying to get that money. That's totally different. And if it's been a dispute before, then that company should not be able to be on your credit report. So you got questions, you got issues with your credit, contact me, 800@creditscoreman.com. Get on my calendar so we can discuss your credit situation specifically, and I can help you out with that. So make sure you do that. All right, so thank you very much, John. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for contacting me. Like I said, he contacted me on Messenger off the 800 Credit Score Man fan page on Facebook. You can do the same, or you can email me, like I just said, 800@creditscoreman.com. John, you are officially a part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family. Thank you. All right, so let's get into, like I was about to say when I was talking about John's situation. Let's get into that. So let me throw out some shout outs. I forgot all about shout outs. We're almost at the end of the show. I got to shout out Troy West, the incomparable Troy West. Troy celebrates his birthday today. Today is Troy's birthday. So happy birthday to you, my man Troy. I know he's somewhere in Chicago, Illinois, looking dapper. You talk about a man that dresses. So Troy West, happy birthday to you, my man. I got to give a happy birthday shout out to Erica Ford. Happy birthday to you, Erica. Brian Taylor, I call him Big Boy birthday. So happy birthday to you, Big Boy, Brian Taylor. I got to give Corey Bethel a shout out. So happy birthday to you, Corey. Corey always meeting somebody famous. I don't know how she do it, but she got more pictures with famous people than I've ever seen. So happy birthday to you, Corey. I got to give a shout out to Eddie Terrell King. Anybody last name on this show is King. Typically we related. And every time, I swear it's every Saturday, I got a relative, a cousin, uncle, brother, somebody who's got a birthday. So no different. Eddie King, happy birthday to you. Kelly Hill, happy birthday to you. Kelly Hill and her husband, Nate, and I actually share a wedding anniversary. Happy birthday to you, Kelly. And Trina Kirk, happy birthday to you as well. That's all my shout outs. Now let's end the show with about these specific things like I was going to talk about with John. So look, why are there so many different scores? So John got a 630. Like I said, I don't know where John got his credit score from. Maybe he got it from Credit Karma. Maybe he got it because he called Discover. Maybe one of his credit cards contacted him and said, hey, look at your credit report and your credit score. And that's where he got his 630 from. Now, he got it there. But if John goes to go buy a car, his credit score may not be 630. It could be higher or it could be lower when they pull that credit report. No matter if it's TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, it could be different. If you apply for a credit card, they can say, hey, you have a different credit score than this 630 that you told us that you have. So why is that? Well, here's the reason why. Credit scores are also, you have a lot of credit scores. So you don't just have the one. You know, if you talk to anybody and they say, hey, my credit score is 825, that's general. That's general. Like I say, hey, my credit score is 822. That's generally speaking, it's 822. It's different if I go buy a car. It's different if I apply for a credit card. You know, it could be lower, it could be higher. So here's the reason why. Credit scores are also or can be industry specific. So yes, there's a score for you for credit cards. There's a score for you when you apply for a mortgage. It's different than what the credit cards are. They're looking at different things. You know, a mortgage is a bigger ticket item than somebody trying to give you a $500 credit card or even a $10,000 credit card. So this industry specific in that realm. And I also did a show a long time ago about car credit. Yes, because there are people that don't believe there's car credit or there's a specific category for that. Yes, there is a specific category for car credit. So if you go in to get a car, you just closed on a mortgage a couple of months ago and you had a 740 and you go in to buy a car a couple of months later and it's saying that your credit score is, 699, you're thinking, hey, that mortgage didn't really help my credit score at all. What's going on? That's not the case. It's not the case that it didn't help your credit score. The case is that maybe you haven't had a car note for 5 years. You bought your car, you paid your car off, it's 10 years old now, or you only had cars that you bought it to buy here, pay here, so it wasn't on your credit report. You haven't bought a car in a long time. So your car credit score may be very low. Or maybe you had a car before, you had a couple issues with it, a couple late payments or what have you. You recovered, no problem at all. But your score for your car score has been changed or it's different. So just because you have a good credit score overall doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a great car credit score or a great credit card credit score just because you have that overall. So yes, it is industry specific as well when it comes to your credit reports. So make sure that you are aware of that too. So don't get all bent out of shape when you're sitting in the car dealership showroom and you know that you have a 820 and you're not tripping at all because you're going to get this car, and then they come back and tell you that your credit score is 795. And I'll tell you full disclosure, that's what happened with me. So I had a 847, a 822, and a 817 or 805 or something of that nature when I went to purchase a vehicle. So, I'm in there talking to, my salesperson, and she's asking me, finally getting down to, what's your credit looking like? And I said, well, I've got 800 credit